There are a lot of reasons why you would want to give your renderings a 3D printed look. Say if you have a 3D printing business, you really don't want to advertise your products with perfect CAD or mesh renderings and then send actual parts with all the 3D printing imperfections to your clients, because that'll disappoint them. And well, you don't want to disappoint people. Well, not on purpose. Well, not anymore. I've looked everywhere online for a solution and found a few threads here and there where people try to work their way around this, and I really didn't like any of those methods. So here I'm going to show you how to make renderings based on the actual representation of your sliced part inside the slicer. All you need is Prusa Slicer and your favorite rendering package. First, you would want to open up Prusa Slicer. I'm using version 2.3.3, but this is available in some of the previous versions as well. I will just bring in my STL file. This is a vase I found on Thingiverse and I will put it in the description box. I'm just going to reduce the size a little bit so it's not as heavy on my computer. And then I will just slice it. Now this is something you're probably already familiar with. This is the typical sliced version of your model. The cool thing about Prusa Slicer is that you have all these different feature types. The perimeter, infill, skirt, and all that sort of stuff. And each one is indicated by a specific color. For rendering purposes, you would only need external feature types. That'll be perimeter, external perimeter, and in my case, top solid infill. So I'm just going to go ahead and disable any feature type that is not going to be visible in the final rendering. Then I'll just go to File, Export, and Export Toolpath as OBJ. I'll save it on my desktop as Vase Toolpath. This is going to take some time because this is a huge file. And if you look at the size, you can see this is 250 megabyte. The actual STL file was 12, and that's because the OBJ toolpath is storing a lot of data that is not going to be used. So what I'm going to do is open Blender and import my OBJ file and change it to a mesh file that only has the data I need for rendering. Once my file is inside Blender, I will change its orientation and position. You can see I have 3 different materials associated with the 3 different feature types I kept enabled inside Prusa Slicer. And this is super cool because now I can change each one individually. And all I'm going to do now is to export this file as an STL and bring it into my favorite rendering software. If you're going to render your files in Blender, you're basically done. But I'm going to render this vase inside Fusion 360. If I open up the STL file, you can see that we have not lost any mesh data. The STL file is about 130 megabytes, while the OBJ is about 260. We're literally cutting our size in half, changing our format from OBJ to STL. And we're basically done. I'm just going to bring it inside Fusion 360 and assign my clay material to it and render it out.